Let's see if we got enough internet here. What's up, everybody? What's up, YouTube? It's Natalie, Hotshot Adventures, here with Jessie and Eddie. They're my lease on owner operators. And Eddie, you've got a career. And so we're just going to share some stories and let you guys kind of trickle in a little bit. Eddie's a career trucker. I've told you guys that before. His experience and resume, if you want to call it, is very impressive. And that's kind of how he got in the door with me. It was unexpected, but it's been a complete blessing, you guys. And so,
Yeah.
Eddie, share a little bit about your experience in trucking and how you got to me, how you got started in Hotshot.
Well, my story is it goes from Kuwait, because I was a contractor in Kuwait, and I was making crazy money there, but the money started going away. So I was like, I can make the same amount back in the States, and I've always wanted to be a truck driver. My father was a truck driver. I have a couple of brothers that are truck drivers, so I was like, I'm gonna do truck driving, and came in back to the States. 2 days later, after I landed, I got on with a company called Celadon to get my CDL.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, those of y'all who knew Celadon, they're already gone. They went under. Thank God. They were terrible. But Jess was with me, and we got our CDLs together. We started driving together, and from there, I mean, been driving for what was it, 9 years? I've been.
You have a little over 8, yeah.
I have a little over 8 years in driving. I've driven everything from dry van, tanker, flatbed. Never did any heavy hauls yet. My first oversized was
mini heavy hauls.
Yeah, my first oversized load was with Natalie. That was awesome, and I mean, I've been happy ever since just doing this. And the reason why I got into hot shotting was I was tired of working for companies taking more than I want a bigger piece of the pie, basically.
That's right.
Yeah, and I've always wanted to be my own boss. So now I do have a boss, but she's awesome. Yeah.
Oh no.
She's awesome, and I mean, she keeps me rolling. And ever since I hooked up with Natalie, I mean, I found her on YouTube, and she thought I was crazy at the beginning because I was going from trucking down to hot shotting, which it usually goes the other way around.
Yeah.
But I just find more freedom in hot shotting, because if we ever decide to go on like a mini vacation, we just find a load that where we want to go, and we go and get paid for it and shut down for a couple of days and have a good time, and then we get back on it again. It's more freedom, and we can actually drop our trailer and just drive anywhere we can where 18-wheeler can. Mm-hmm. So I just love the freedom in it.
Yeah, that's a really that's very true. That's what I did. I took Mom and Lexi to Yellowstone. I had an opportunity to take a load up to Wyoming, and so we entered Yellowstone. We dropped the trailer at that KOA. I'm sure you guys remember that video, and dropped the trailer at the KOA, and we spent 3 or 4 days in Yellowstone, just looking at the scenery and seeing everything, and it was a beautiful trip. You can still drop your big rig trailer, but Yellowstone won't allow big rigs in there unless they're working,
right.
So that is beautiful. I'm honored, and it's a privilege to have you on board. A pleasure to work with both of you guys. And so, Jessie, now tell us your story, because Jessie has her CDL, like Eddie said. He's been, they've been going for a while, and then Jessie kind of split away from trucking. And so, tell us about your history, Jessie.
Well, mine is I have a family that I'm raising, and I got into trucking, met Eddie. A lot of that's history already, because he told you his story. But I got out of it, tried to do something a little closer to home, with closer to my babies, being home every night kind of thing, because I miss them. And that kind of just wasn't working out for me. And he and I had been talking for a little while about me getting on the Hotshot truck with him. Mm-hmm. And that's a tight fit. But, we knew we could work it out. I've been back about a week now.
Yeah, right? This is basically her first run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First official.
Because I picked her up. I did a Florida load last week. Picked her up, and this is her first official run coming to California.
Oh, crud. I never even did my background. So sorry. The question was background. So I've done dry van, I've done reefer and dry bulk for a very tiny minute. I did flatbed. That is what I loved. I loved having the hands on and the ass out of the seat on the ground. Hard work with my hands, so I really, really enjoyed that aspect of trucking. I really, really missed the road.
She's not right in the head because she likes tarping. It's not
Okay,
cool.
but that is because it keeps your body in check.
That's true.
Especially in the summertime. So I don't love tarping, but I love the workout, and I definitely love the work with my hands. I like to get out of the truck and do something. And I know that, for a lot of people that, that's not miles. You're only getting paid, when you're moving. And that's true. That's true. But when you do nothing but sit all day long, you're going to get squishy in the middle. And I don't like that. Some people don't mind it, but I don't like it. So, that's my background. My background is basically just trucking the same with Eddie. And then when I did go on my own, I did a lot of flatbedding. But then I went home and I worked in a whole other industry. It was still transportation, but it was on the water. And that just wasn't working out, not like I had hoped. And so now I'm back.
Yeah.
And I get to flatbed again. But I get to flatbed with the best partner in the world.
Yep.
And oh my God.
Natalie has been, ever since I got with Natalie, she's been like God sent. It's been awesome working for her. She keeps me moving. She knows the heartache and pains that we go through. And she's always, well, if you don't feel like it, we won't do it then. And we'll move on to something else and you can't get that from a company. In a company, they're just go, 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 go. But if you call them and say, hey, I'm getting really tired, well, get out of the truck, walk around it,
and get right back in the seat in 15 minutes.
In 15 minutes, and then give her hell again.
What's the holdup? What's the holdup? That's what you hear from other people, and she'll call and say, "Hey, everything all right?
Yeah,
just checking in. She's there, y'all. She's there. 15 calls a day.
24.
She's there
24/7. You can call her night or day, and she'll answer the phone. And if we run into a problem, and we hardly do. And she's there. She answers the question, and she's like, "Okay, we'll do this and this instead." Because, like I said, we only know trucking. Hotshot is a whole different beast, and you're not only delivering to companies, but you're delivering to homes, to people's homes, private parties. You're delivering cars to people's homes, and you got to figure out how where you got to park the trailer to drop off their car.
Talk about needing to delight your customer, man. You've got to, you're going to be right there at their home, like you said. You're not at what do you call it? A facility.
A facility.
You're not, and you're not always driving into something that's prepared for your weight and size. But you figure it out, and a lot of times you figure out with the customer. So,
and it takes a lot of coordination. That's what you're, and that's why you're like, well, we don't really have a lot of problems. We don't have a lot of problems because we talk 15 times a day.
Right.
We pre-plan it. We, we keep in communication with each other. It's like, okay, what's your ETA? How's this? What are you going to do after this? Which one are you going to deliver? And when you're really proactive with your communication and your planning, it's just like anything else. It's gonna go smoothly.
Yes, well, and just like you set your truck up for turns because of the size, Natalie sets the customer up for us. I'm not even kidding you.
Yeah.
She's very, very good at what
I think the hardest thing that I was trying to get in a grasp of was where do I, which load goes on the trailer first.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that's why, and that was the first thing I called Natalie. I said, well, okay, so which one do you want me to put on first, and which one do you want me to put on second?
First, where?
Yeah. Guys, look at that hat. That's Eddie. I didn't notice that before.
Yeah. So, she answers every question I ask. And then she basically, like I said, God sent woman. I love working with her. I'm never leaving her. Even if when I get to the point where I can go 100% on my own, I'm still going to be here. I'm going to be here with Natalie.
Somebody watching, hold him to that. Okay. Come back and get him if he leaves. Okay.
I will never.
Dan is asking.
Unless we win the lotto, then we're all leaving.
Then we're all gone. You won't see Natalie anymore either. We're gonna.
You'll see a goodbye video. Love you. Good luck.
We're out. A whole new facet of videos.
Yeah.
Somewhere in this. What's the word? Somewhere discreet.
Yeah.
Some undisclosed location.
Far away.
Videoing about some crazy shit.
This is funny. Dan is asking, would you rather have CDL drivers? Dan, CDL, 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 my other driver, CDL, my other
Yeah.
potential driver that I'm hiring next, CDL.
But
We
why?
only run CDL Hotshot.
But
Dan.
why?
Why? Because we
That's not good
because
enough.
I said so.
My biggest thing on it would be rather good to have a CDL is because you can haul heavier, and that's the biggest thing.
You
If
have
I'm
the
not,
flexibility.
yeah, you have the flexibility to haul heavier and not just haul the lightest loads, because sometimes the lightest loads is not paying as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. When we can haul, that's what I say it, and I say it a lot on my channel, is like, when we can haul feathers, which means light loads, of course we will take them. But when the feathers are not there and they come in the form of steel pipes that weigh 17,000 pounds, if the price is right, I'm going to haul the 17,000
Yeah.
pounds. When you're non-CDL, you are capped on your weight limit. And if you buy a smaller trailer, you're also capped on your length limit. So we have more flexibility as far as how much I saw that. Eric will get right to you in a second. Eric Clark. You have that flexibility that, I came out to California with with 6,000 pounds on my trailer. Eddie you came in pretty light too. You had like a 4,000 pound load, and then a 69 Ford flatbed, whatever.
Yeah,
truck,
it was a custom
truck.
Yeah.
We'll just say
it was a 250.
that wasn't heavy,
wasn't
but
heavy.
then right, these guys on Friday, I had a customer throw me a customer, and they just happened to call me at the right time. Eddie and Jessie were dropping a load in Van Nuys, California this Friday, which is 2 days ago. And they were dropping off a load of cable reels, chains. This girl handled it.
Yep.
And they were dropping them off there. And I had a customer reach out to me and say, hey, I really need this 42-foot long, whatever it was, big old giant piece of steel, moved from, was it Redondo Beach to Gardena?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was exactly.
It was like an 8-mile trek. And
so close.
Yeah, it was very, very close.
Yeah.
But it was 2 pieces. And originally we were told that the pieces were 17,000 pounds total. And then we got there and it was, one piece was what, 10,000?
10,000, and the other one was even heavier than that.
Yeah. And so Eddie and Jessie call me. 1, they're not upset. 2, things changed. 3, they're communicating with me. Hey, what's going, hey, this one is actually weighing more, and the customer's communicating. So we're all coordinating this together. Nobody's throwing a tantrum. Nobody's throwing their hat on the ground. Nobody's freaking out. It's like, hey, we have to make 2 trips. Yep. I call the customer. Hey, listen, I know I told you one price, but you told me one weight. Now the weight has changed. Okay. Now the price changes.
And now we have to do it in 2 runs.
Because we have to go twice. And mind you, it was like 8 miles, 10 miles. So it's not a lot of miles, and I charged them one price, and we ended up having to do 2 trips, and they handled it flawlessly and made a quick, easy grand.
Double the work, double the pay.
And it
right
was
off the bat.
and it was
boom.
Yeah, it was super
so
smooth. Yeah, super smooth. And so that was heavier freight, but
there's things like, she found me a truck that was paying $500, and there was another hotshotter there that was supposed to pick up 2 of the other vehicles, and they're all going to the same place. Well, he decided not to take one of the vehicles because he was like, I'm not dealing with this. There were non-running vehicles. The lady there was like, hey, can you take this other truck? And it was a big work truck.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, how much is it paying? And she was like, that's $1,000. I said, I got it. I'm not going to leave $1,000 just sitting there for somebody else to take it while I'm here. So I called Natalie, let her know. And she was like, yeah, do it. We'll get it done. And she called the broker and told him, hey, we're going to go ahead and pick up that other one because the other hotshotter dropped it.
Yep.
And
that's just money. It's just sitting there. You might as well take it.
I mean, you got to be very creative when loading these things, especially non-working vehicles. You got to, some people say don't need a winch. Get a winch. You're going to need one because sometimes the customer doesn't have anything else to get that vehicle on your truck. And then you're just leaving money behind it. You just don't have it. But for Eric Clark, I'm with you on that. That's the reason why I went hotshotting.
What did he say? I can't.
Because he wants to
drive. Eric Clark, for you guys that I don't know if you can see the chat or not, but Eric Clark says, I currently drive for Ryder and I am tired of being treated poorly and want to work for myself. That's why I'm deciding to go hotshot. Then he follows up with any advice on new MCs getting into the industry. So
Oh.
we'll let Eddie
Yeah.
lead with this one.
Well, I
Please.
mean, the whole thing, MCs is getting the MCs and everything is pretty easy. Don't let somebody, because there's going to be companies, once you start searching it, you're going to get bombarded by companies that are going to say, well, we can set up your MC and everything, and they're going to charge you, from $1,000 to $5,000 to do it.
Mm-hmm.
There are YouTube videos that'll walk you right through.
They'll walk you right through it. It's not going to cost you, basically the fee to put in for these. But that's the reason why I chose Hotshotting, because I was tired of the company being treated poorly,
Okay.
driving all night, and sometimes not right, but they would,
push you.
Yeah, they'll push you.
Oh God, and they forget that you're a person too.
But they don't. I mean, and
Mm-hmm.
and on top of that, they don't show gratitude for it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
I was tired of it. The same thing, and that's the reason why I always wanted to be my own boss, and do my own thing. And I mean, yes, Natalie's my boss, but she just tells me whatever you want to do, and I'm like, okay.
But another thing with doing this, you only get what you put in, and this is
That's
so.
right.
I mean, you hear that all the time about all sorts of things, but
That's right.
this is all on you. If you're not willing and disciplined, you're not going to have the great fruit, right? I mean, you have to. He drives like a machine. Now, not everybody drives like he does.
He's a beast.
Dude
Yeah.
is a machine.
Yeah.
But at the same time, no matter what you put into it, that's what you're going to get out of it. You put some elbow grease in it, you're going to get.
And there's always
payday.
It's always if those wheels aren't turning, you're not making money.
And that's
basically
true. That is true. But this allows so much freedom. It's not going to be the same thing as it is, at your company where you're driving for the mile and you never ever get to stop and you can't afford the days off to go home.
Yeah.
You're out for months at a time. I understand.
That
I've been there.
yeah.
Okay. Babies at home, didn't see them for a year.
Because
I was out for a year.
That was the one thing I noticed when I joined the military. The recruiter is gonna lie to you. He's gonna tell you, oh, this is a beautiful job. It's gonna, you're gonna do the, this and this and this and this. And then when you get in there, you're like, I want to find that recruiter right now.
We'll get you home once a month.
And that's the same thing with the recruiters for truck driving.
Yeah, they'll say the same
they'll,
thing. Right?
We'll get you home, whenever you want and all this. But then when you do put in, you say, I want to go home. Well, we got this other load that needs to get, there.
Or you do go home and you're starved the next week.
Yeah,
we get it.
Yeah,
this allows a lot more freedom. You get to know, even if you can't know what loads you're going to chase, what money you're going to chase, at least you know what you're set up with for next week because of what you ran this week. And you can also, you don't have to plan it a week ahead of time, and it doesn't take as long to get you home.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Eric, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's your wife's way of supporting you.
Yes.
She's
gonna lock the door.
The wife is gonna lock the door, and he can't come in until he went out and made enough money.
Okay, well, surprise the crap out of her whenever it's a lot sooner than it's been, baby.
Make it rain,
okay, you show up and be like, "Hey, you said what?"
And for those of you that are getting into the Hotshot, don't think it's I'm gonna make thousands of dollars in the first month and stuff. I mean, there's going to be ups, downs, ups, downs. I mean, there's sometimes, I was with Natalie and I was lucky. There was 1 month, what did I clear? I don't even remember. It was like.
Oh, in the month? I don't keep track of it in the
month.
But I've seen him clear over 10K.
I know you've,
a few times.
Yeah.
A few times on his own.
I know you've come home with like $5,000 of cash in your pocket.
Never happened to me before.
Yep.
I got a load that was coming from Northern California to Oklahoma.
Yep.
And the guy paid Arkansas.
Yeah.
And they paid
cash
$5,000, and I had it in my pocket. And the first thing, as soon as I got in the truck and I left, and I was like, call Natalie. I called Natalie, and I'm like, I got $5,000 in my pocket. What do you want me to do? She was like,
Go home.
Go home.
It's a good time to stop your head.
Yeah. And I was like, do you need me to send it to you? And she's like, no, that's your money.
Go home.
Go home.
Enjoy it.
And I was like, oh my God. And it was burning a hole in my pocket. But I mean, and that's another thing. You got to be careful.
Don't spend it.
Thankfully, he came home.
Plan.
Yeah.
He
Yes.
came straight
Plan.
home.
I told him, go home and go give it to Jessie. That's what I said.
Go put that in the bank.
Go take
Yeah.
care of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and,
the truth.
I mean, you're gonna see a lot of like CODs like that. And Jess just saw her first, what was it, over $2,000 that
Yeah.
we got.
We got over $2,000 in
Yeah.
50s, yo.
Yeah.
I never had so many
And-
50s at once.
And that was the
Yeah.
thing. And then some customers are really gratitude. I mean, the guy, he gave us $200 for a tip. That's my highest tip so far,
Yeah.
by the way.
That's a nice tip,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
That's a nice
So,
$200 tip is a nice tip. I think my highest tip was 300.
yeah.
My lowest tip was like, I'm grateful if they give me a bottle of water.
Exactly.
If they offer me a restroom. Last week it was an older Asian guy who owned a really small engineering company in Northern California.
Yeah.
And his forklift operator was a Latino. And they're laughing and they're joking with me. And we delivered whatever we delivered, and they were like, "Hey, do you want us to take you out to dinner?" Like they offered, and they weren't offering it because I'm cute or they had wedding rings. They were just offering like, damn,
Yeah.
this chick just drove in 2.5 days, like a shit ton of miles. Okay,
Yeah.
I was like, I got it here,
Yeah.
and that's a form of gratitude. And of course, I was exhausted. I said, no, I don't want dinner. I want to go to bed.
Yeah.
But it's nice to just,
Yeah.
if you pull up to a Walmart distribution center, what the hell do you think you're gonna get?
Hell,
You ain't
sometimes they don't
getting
even,
service like
the cold
that.
and sometimes they don't
shoulder.
even let you use their restroom.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't. No restrooms for drivers, and that's getting more and more common for the big rig guys.
Well, they're passing the law now that they have to now.
that they have.
Yeah, they
and
have
they
to.
should, because that's ridiculous. And we as drivers as a whole should not be cochinos and making a mess of everything. We're all
Yeah.
human. We should all know how to use a freaking bathroom by
Hello.
now. Yeah, and so
Yeah.
I understand both sides of that coin.
And they
but
don't like the results of the alternative. I'm not going to get descriptive.
Right?
But hello, everybody knows what happens.
I mean, that's
when
why a
you
lot of-
can't go to the bathroom.
There's a lot of
you
Walmarts
gonna
that
go
will,
somewhere.
Yep.
there's
Yeah.
a lot of Walmarts that allow drivers to park on their lots, but not. I mean, and now it's less and less
It
because
is.
you got drivers that are just throwing their stuff on the ground.
Yeah,
Yep.
being
leaving mess.
nasty.
Come
Yeah.
on. We're all
Yeah.
adults. Act
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah,
Be
It's,
professional.
yeah.
Eric, that's a good point. Can I do a shout out?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Come
We
on.
got a trailer from a place called Happy Trailers, Eric. So keep them in mind. They were in Waco, but they have several locations in Texas.
They got several in there.
And you could,
yeah.
with your situation that you mentioned there, you could probably finance one and get some really good financing. I don't know the numbers enough to speak over video about it, but point being,
You can reach out to them
in
and
that
see what they can do
situation
for
that
you.
Yeah.
you've got, they
Yeah.
could probably hook you up, and
Yeah.
you don't even have to worry about renting.
Yeah, Eric. What state are you in, Eric? Because Happy Trailers, and it's not.
It's just
Eddie's
not
the
Texas.
first one
Yeah.
to have gone there.
Yeah.
They're all over.
Yeah. They're all over.
Nationwide Trailers is all over. I've been to the one in Houston and a couple others. There's one in
Beaumont.
There's one in Beaumont. I've been there. It's smaller, but really good service, really good guys
Mhm.
there as well. I've bought a couple trailers from the Trailer Guys. The Trailer Guys, they have 3 locations in Texas. They're pretty phenomenal. So there's a lot. Jesse's right. There's a few different places out there, but we recommend, a couple of those. Only we're saying that and nobody's paying us any money. Okay, guys. Ohio. Okay. There's a lot of good deals up in the Midwest too. There's a lot of manufacturers up there, but you can come down. We're not far.
Yeah.
For Houston's, what?
I mean,
600
Shoot,
miles.
Dallas, Waco,
Yeah,
I mean,
600 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dallas
Trust
has
me.
a bunch.
Go to their website and have a look. I bet you'll find something just right for you right away.
I mean,
Yeah.
Eric, do you have a CDL? Yeah, of course he has a CDL because he was
Oh,
riding.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
he was
he's got a
rider.
CDL.
Because
Hi, Shadow.
I do have a trailer that's up for sale. By the way, everybody, I have
Yeah.
a trailer. My first trailer that I started hotshotting with. It's up for sale, and it's a non-CDL trailer.
Well, it could go either way.
Yeah.
It's right now. It's got a GVWR of 18,000 pounds.
Right.
So technically, it is a CDL trailer, but you can derate it and change the sticker very easily through. It's a Big Tex or it's a PJ. It's a
PJ.
PJ. It's a PJ, which
Mhm.
is very nice quality trailer. You can change it to a non-CDL trailer very easily.
Yeah.
We only upgraded because it was a little smaller than we wanted. We wanted to max it out.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I bought a bigger trailer.
he bought a bigger, fancier
Yeah.
PJ, and he loves it. How
Yeah.
often? Okay, AQK Boone is asking, how often do we do maintenance on the trucks or trailers? Okay, I'm gonna do. You want to do trucks, or I'll do trucks and you do trailers?
That's a couple of part answers.
That's
okay. You talk about the trucks at least.
She's bossing us again.
Sorry,
But
I don't know anything, but I know people that know things, and I know who knows what. No. This girl's the one you want to talk to about the truck.
The truck? Okay, so I'll give you a rundown of the truck. Okay, if you are running 17-inch rims, that's what our rims are, right? 17 or 17.5, that's the trailer. 17-inch rims, which is your standard rim for any 1-ton truck. If you're running those, or 15. Yeah. The bigger ones that we were talking about, were they the 19-inch?
The 9, yes.
Those were 19, right?
Yes.
Okay, so standard is 17. If you're running those, you're going through a set of 6 tires, okay, about every 55,000 miles. You can get an extra like 5,000 miles, maybe 7,000 miles, depending on the tire, if you rotate them all the time. And I personally don't keep up with that. I don't. If I'm pulling tires off to get work done, whatever I'm doing, then I will I always tell them, rotate, put this one here, put this one here, however I want to do it. But I don't disconnect from my trailer and go to a tire shop and ask them to rotate my tires. And to me, it's just too much time for the benefit. So you're going through a set of tires every 55,000 miles. And I say miles because some people run 55,000 miles in 5 months, and others will run 55,000 miles a year. So it really depends upon how local or how far you are moving. So you'll go through tires. We go through a set of brake pads on the truck, I would say about every year. About every year. And
I just recently had to do my brake pads.
Eddie's, you got 70,000 miles
70,000 miles
on the
it.
Ram.
And then I had to do the front. I still had to do the rear, but
I
still got on the rear. It's still good, but the front had to get changed out.
If you're doing
55K a year,
you're a part-timer.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, right. I know. Yeah, none of us. Eddie's done. Eddie's been for 7 months, and he's got 70,000 miles on the truck. And my gray truck is almost 2 years old. In December, my gray truck will be 2 years old, and she's already got almost 200. She might have 200,000 miles on her right now.
Right.
So we're running about 100,000 miles a year.
I was gonna say you've done 50.
Easy.
I think you've done 50 on your own
Easy.
since the end of March.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you'll go through an oil change. I'm sorry, but you're going to go through an oil change every 10,000 miles.
That 10,000 miles goes quick.
It's almost every month, you guys.
That's what I was
It's
about to
almost
say.
Every month you're going to have to do an oil change.
Yeah, oil and fuel every month.
And I personally do my fuel filters every other oil change. So that means every other month you're getting the fuel filters. So I would suggest, which I have learned, to start doing your own oil changes for those of us that have multiple trucks. AMS Oil. They have a program. They'll mail the oil to your house, and probably the filters too. They'll mail it to your house. They give you a discount, and it's already there at your house for when you come back up from the road and you need to do another oil change. Do your own oil changes, you guys. Do your own fuel filters, because I used to take my truck in like a dumb girl, blonde, and have somebody change my fuel filters, and then you and somebody else showed me, how to do it myself. And now I just go pick them up. They're about $65, and I swap them out myself. You get a little dirty, you get some diesel on you. I like the smell of diesel. I like it. It's cool.
Yeah.
And it's, and you try to do a lot of that stuff yourself. So other than that, you guys, there's a maintenance schedule of there's a maintenance schedule for everything under your hood, right? So we just talked, and as well your front differentials, your rear differentials, your transfer case. Those 3 are super easy to learn how to do yourself. Not too expensive if you do it yourself, and it's just, you know, some nuts and bolts and stuff like that. Super simple. And then everything is on a maintenance program as far as under your hood. So when to change your transmission fluid, when to change your antifreeze. We're gonna go on an ad in like 6 seconds, and then we'll read this one.
Yeah.
Last month I saw. No, she quit, Anna Margaret.
Yeah,
she quit yesterday.
She just left. Yeah, she left us yesterday.
Hotshot wasn't for her. Sorry.
She was feeling claustrophobic in the truck.
Yeah. Ads inserted. I'm not sure how these ads work.
I don't know either.
Yeah, Anna Margaret. Sorry. Yeah, she quit yesterday. I have to go pick up the truck and trailer. Yeah, she was just really used to she was just really used to being in a big rig, and she stayed with me for 3 months. She was a great driver, and she just kind of lost interest. You know, she just kind of lost interest. So I am looking for another CDL holding driver, hopefully based out of the state of Texas. And I will be probably doing a video on that. But right now we are all sitting in an RV. Chris, thank you. I appreciate you.
Chris is awesome.
We are in an RV in my house in California. We came back here. It was like a Hotshot reunion, you guys. I was falling apart because my house here in California with the eviction and these assholes and all the bullshit, you know, my house was a freaking mess. It was disgusting inside and out. The yard, everything was trashed. And I came in on Friday, you guys, and oh, the love. I came in rolling deep. I felt like a freaking boss, you guys.
It was like it was meant to happen.
Yeah, because everybody was here.
Yeah, it was.
Everybody was
here. I
here.
was on the load coming to California, and I was like, you know, let's just meet up. And we were like, we're coming to help. Damn it!
They came down and helped me, you guys.
And then Chris came in and big with this trailer to have, you know, so she can have something to sleep in.
Chris is one of my Patreons, you guys. I've been working with him for like 4 or 5 months now, so that he can go independent and start his Hotshot trucking company. So, you know, we've been talking a lot, and he's like, hey, you know, I got this little RV, you know, do you want me to bring it by? I'm like, yes, I'm going to be there a long time. And oh my God, what a blessing. So Chris showed up with his, you know, 30-foot whatever RV. Eddie and Jessie showed up with their 40-footer. Emery, another buddy of mine in Hotshot, he showed up and swung by after coming back from San Diego on a load. He swung by and chopped it up with us for hours out in the front yard.
Emery's awesome, by the way.
Emery, we love you, Emery. Yeah, Emery is Bradley Logistics. Bradford Logistics. You can look him up on TikTok. He's pretty badass. And then me and my truck and trailer. So we were rolling 4 trailers deep, and we just kind of came in, and man, we did dump runs yesterday. We just cleaned out everything. I stayed up all night.
She's
the night before last, cleaning my house because it was so nasty, you guys. It was just, I couldn't even look at it until it looked similar, something similar to what I left my house looking like not even a year ago. Like it was awful.
Textbook definition of squalor.
Awful.
Yes.
Terrible. You know, it's terrible. But everybody came and just huddled. You know, it's a family. It's a family. Emery came and he was like, I'll come back and I'll help you with this. I got to go do maintenance. And, you know, Chris came back, and it's just been such a blessing.
Forgot to say, it was Nallie's birthday yesterday.
Oh yeah.
So everybody wish her a happy birthday.
Yeah, it was my birthday yesterday, and I'm right where I should be. We went and had Thai food. The four of us. Oh my God, I ordered everything so they could try it, you know. And it was badass, you guys. It was so freaking awesome. Okay, which one were you pointing at?
Natalie, you're best for Akboon here.
Okay, how do you handle a breakdown on the road? You got it fixed, honey.
Well, yeah, but what's the first thing you do? How do you start looking for people? I think that's what they're asking. How do you find somebody? You
pull over, you assess the situation. If you can get off the freeway, get off the freeway, even if it's just to an exit off of the exit, okay? And then start making calls. If it's just a tire and you can limp it to a tire shop, don't limp before you call. You always call, if it's brakes, if it's whatever it is, assess the situation. Do you just have to go to AutoZone and pick up a part and a tool, or do you need to seriously find a mechanic, or is it so bad that you need to call for a tow or have a mobile mechanic come out to you?
That's what I think they're asking.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you do? How do you make the decision? Okay, first, what do you Google when you're looking? Let's say you can't leave the roadway. You know you're not going to AutoZone. You need to call somebody out to you.
Well,
first thing you Google is what? Roadside assistance? roadside.
The one thing,
rig?
when I had my
No.
my trailer broke down.
Okay, that's a good example.
Yeah, when my trailer broke down, what is it called? The arm between the tires.
The spindle?
Yeah. No, it's like an arm that goes across.
Oh, the equalizer?
The equalizer. Okay. My equalizer broke because according to anyway, I'm not going to go into that. But they lied about the weight and it ended up breaking it. So I was lucky. The only thing I did was I Googled trailer repair near me. And luckily he was just 2 blocks away.
There it is.
He was 2 blocks away. So I was lucky. But I mean, you just got to be creative on searching, whatever the situation is. Just say, tire repair or, brake repair or just, trailer repair and see what's near you real quick and see if they can get to you.
Yeah. And make those calls because some of them will tell me, I'm out a week, or
yeah.
And I mean I'll put doves on it, you guys. I'm like, dude, how much? I don't care, charge me premium. I don't care what you charge me, but I can't wait, or I'm unsafe, or you really have to communicate and tell these people, like, I will wait for you if you can get me in tomorrow. Like, I'm literally stuck here until you can help me. So please, And
that's why we're big on preventive maintenance.
Yeah.
Before you get behind that wheel, walk around your trailer, go under it, make sure everything is fine before you even get on the road.
Yeah, those pre-trips are so important.
They're very important because
important.
If you're not watching what your trailer's doing, it's going to break down all the time.
Yeah.
Something, and usually your equipment is going to tell you just before it's going to happen. It's you feel a wobble, or an engine light comes on and it goes away,
or a noise,
yes. Just got to be always paying attention.
And when you are in that situation, get off the road, get out of the way, get as far as you can from the traffic, because keep in mind, you got somebody coming out to help you, and they're going to be closer to the traffic than you even are, because they're going to be on the side of your trailer or your truck. So do everybody a favor and get out of the roadway if you can. All right. And then let's see. What's the worst state to run freight through? That's all y'all. Because I'll go anywhere you tell me to.
Yeah. Eddie, you have your places that you won't go.
Yes, I'm not going. I don't go to New York or New Jersey, and the reason why is because we ran mail from Michigan to New York down to Florida, and the tolls and the roads and the way people drive in New York. I mean, I've driven a 53-footer with a full size truck downtown Manhattan to get to the post office, and it wasn't fun. It's not fun to drive in New York, not with a trailer. So I stay away from New York, New Jersey.
Yep.
I don't like going to Oregon because they got their own. Every time you go into Oregon, you got to get their permit, and then plus they have their own fuel taxes to add on to it, and it's ridiculous.
But when you do, look around, because it's beautiful.
Yeah, Oregon is beautiful. Don't get me wrong.
Okay, when you do,
it's beautiful in Oregon. Don't get me wrong. But my states that I don't like is New York, New Jersey. That's it.
Yeah, and that's a matter of personal preference, really. I won't go. Well, I shouldn't say I won't go, because next month I'll be going to Maine. I have a load clear across the country. One of the subscribers has moved from Northern California to Maine, and I get to transport his Harley.
Oh my God.
I know. And two of his vehicles, because he wants me. No, actually, you might go if something pops up, or I don't know. I'm taking my truck into the shop tomorrow, so maybe I won't get to go. I don't know. We'll just have to see how it goes. But I'm not a fan. I've never really been up to the Northeast. I am a fan of the beauty of it, but I don't know if I would really ever want to haul my big truck and trailer, even not in a hotshot rig, through there. But I'm from the West Coast. It's totally different. It's a uncharted territory for me. I have another Patreon that is operates his business out of New York, I believe upstate New York.
Mhm.
And so he's very familiar with that whole area. So he knows about quoting, how much extra he needs to charge, how much the tolls are going to be, how long it's going to take him, what the traffic is going to look like. He already kind of knows that area. And now a second to that, I'll go a little bit even farther and delve into that, which is, dead zones. A lot of people talk about these dead zones, and if you're working for a dispatcher, a lot of times the quote unquote dead zones, the loads in the dead zones, they're paying really nicely to get the load up there, but you got to really think about, well, what am I going to find out of there? And if you're a hybrid like us, you can haul cars and freight, you're never really stuck,
Right.
because there's always cars.
Yeah, because if you're in an area where there's no more freight, there's always a car.
There's always
cars everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean,
and as much as you might want to say something about what it pays, isn't it better than sitting there waiting on your dispatcher finding you regular?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, you've all been there.
it goes back to if the wheels aren't turning, you're not making money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know there's drivers out there that they'll sit and wait for that unicorn load. They want
a day, 2 days.
Yep. That's paying $8,000, but it's
take
just
what you need
sometimes
to get
it
out
doesn't
of that
come.
area,
Yeah.
because there's something right around the corner that's even better.
Yeah, take a couple cars to a different area
And then just do the damn thing
and then move from there.
Eric Clark.
So what
It averages. I'm gonna say between 5 to 9 on a really good run per week. But it's like we said, you gotta run hard to make that money.
Yeah, and it's totally different. You're coming from Ryder, so whether you're doing whether you're doing drop and hooks, which you may be doing drop and hooks, or maybe you have your own trailer that they've assigned to you that they're unloading and reloading. It's a full load. You're backing up into I'm sure Ryder does flatbed too, but I would assume you're backing up into a door and you're waiting for that green light. And with this, you're not. I mean, everything is really fast. Eddie's had detention one time.
This is a whole different beast. We piece together loads. We have to piece together loads to make that money. You can't just take one load and then go.
You're not picking up.
You need to feel that. You always got to feel that trailer, and that's what I love about her, because once the load gets off my trailer, she's already looking for the next one to put right there. And she's always telling me, measure how much.
Tell me how much you have left.
Yes.
You got.
Go out there with a
measure.
Tape measure is a big thing on a Hotshot.
Yeah.
Get a tape measure.
Yeah.
Thank you, James. I went ahead and found them on Google and bookmarked them.
Thank you, James. James. Yep, James found that's very nice. That's very nice. I do it myself, but you know what? If you can't find somebody, hey, there's somebody. It's Big Rig. They're pretty much going to charge you the same. Don't
be scared of roadside repair, because it's still going to be cheaper than getting towed to a shop.
Yeah.
It's going to be some steep pricing no matter how you slice it, but the roadside's going to get you rolling.
That's really good, James, also because I was stuck a whole weekend because where was I? don't even remember where I was
You were in South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Or I think
it was South Carolina.
Yep.
And they couldn't get to me until Monday because the business was closed. That was not close to me. But I probably, if I would have called them, they would have sent somebody out. So,
Eric, to answer your question, so if you know how to grab off the load board and get yourself loaded, by all means, go for it for yourself. But if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to start starving. So you might consider using a dispatch for a little while. I would suggest that you start looking. Use them. Go ahead, but start doing your work to figure out what it is that they do. Learn how to do it yourself. It's not where, look, we love giving her what she needs as far as percentage of the loads to do what she does, because we love not having to deal with it. That's why we're not leaving her ever. I'm serious. That's the biggest part that besides how she does it, that's the biggest part of why we love having her as our person. She handles everything on that.
She's a big time hustler. She'll find them loads no matter what.
We don't really want to learn how to do it.
There'll be days. There's days that there is nothing, and we already know how brokers are cutting us at the knees with the, taking their huge cut off the top. And that's why we're big fans of finding. We give our cart everywhere we go, picking up and delivering, picking up and delivering. We drop a cart. Look, if you need it, we'll haul it. Just call now.
But they still go through her. So the dispatcher, look, I think personally, it's an investment in you. It takes money to make money. Pay the dispatcher to do exactly what they're good at doing. You certainly can do it yourself, though. It's totally doable. You hear people all the time.
And plus, it's a headache. It's a headache you don't need because you're there just to drive.
Mm-hmm.
You're there to transport your load. It's a lot easier when you have a dispatcher finding those loads for you. So when you wake up in the morning, they got you lined up already.
But it's a service you can certainly utilize, and in my opinion, it's a damn good investment to make because that's a lot of hair-braining stuff to do when you're dispatching yourself.
Yeah, so. the amount of emails and text messages and phone calls that I take in one day, just running 2 trucks. Well, technically 3 when I'm running, is it's phenomenal. I can send 100 emails in a day. And I'm scheduling for next week. So I'm getting texts, I'm getting requests, and it's a lot.
It's hard because you got to pull over the side of the road and get these, you have to answer these questions.
And I don't mean to demonize the brokers, but they're not always very nice people. They're a-holes. And I know they've got to get their bottom line and everything, but I'm really glad we don't have to talk to them because we probably lose them constantly because I'd be catching a case.
Yeah.
People suck, and I'm glad I don't have to deal with them.
Yeah.
So you might want to really consider the dispatching thing, at least for a little while, till you get your get your feet wet. As the
you get used to a rhythm, Eric. You'll get into a rhythm. It's fine if you start off with a dispatch company, but the second part to that, Jessie, is, Eric, ask a lot of questions, because and make sure that they're not trying to put you into a contract for their dispatch service. And any good dispatcher should also have some connections. I mean, you want to ask them, well, where are you going to find my freight from? What's the average, gross revenue that you think you're going to get for me? How are you pulling these because if a dispatcher is just there saving you time by pulling loads off of the load board, that's great. But a good dispatcher is going to have contacts. Okay. They're going to have either direct customers or a combination of direct customers and business relationships with brokers.
They're going to be sourcing outside the board.
Yeah, right. They're going to have people calling them saying, "Hey, I have this freight. Hey, I have that," and then it trickles straight to you. And so a lot of that stuff, you're not even going to see it on the load board.
What's a good percentage for a dispatching service?
For cars, I see a lot of. I get text messages all the time for people trying to sell me their dispatch service for car hauling, and I've seen the percentages just off of what I am, being cold messaged for, is anywhere from 6% to 9% on car hauling only. And for freight, generally speaking, the dispatch percentage is 10%. You may find one that's a little bit lower. I think that you get what you pay for, but you definitely want to ask them some questions and make sure that if you're not happy that you can cut ties, and make sure that they're in the country. Betty hired Betty hired some dispatchers, and they lied to her. Of course, they said they were in, I don't remember, Virginia or New York or some shit. And then it turns out, she's working with them for a while. This was after I stopped dispatching her. I think she kind of felt like I was too busy. And I kept telling her, I'm not too busy. I'm here to work for you. But I think she felt I had a lot on my plate. So it was okay. I want her to do whatever. It's not like we broke up. We're super friends still, but she kind of moved on, and she got this other dispatching company. It turns out they were in freaking Dubai, you guys. Pulling loads off of truckstop.com for her and sending them to her, and they're from Dubai, and it's very common. But you want somebody that's in America, somebody that knows
the lay of the land,
the weather, when the freaking hurricane is
Yeah.
gonna hit Maine or
True.
Florida, don't send you there. I mean, people that are out of the country are not thinking about that stuff. They're looking at the number. They're not looking at, hey, what is it gonna take this guy to have to travel through to get that number? They're just looking to book it, and they don't really care what you have to go through after that, you know. So you want somebody with a heart, with a brain, who knows, you know, what it takes to get in and out of New York. Yeah, in and out of New York. You know what the weather is looking like, what our American holidays are. You know, stuff like that.
And hopefully somebody that cares about where you want to go. I mean, you might want to get out of this section of the United States and go somewhere else. Excuse me.
Shadow R, is there a lot of road rage out there?
Absolutely.
I'll let you guys handle that.
Shadow R, yeah.
The majority of it's coming from me. I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm just
no.
kidding.
I mean,
there's a lot.
Patience is that saying.
There.
Patience, you gotta have patience.
Yeah,
you gotta have lots of patience. I mean, there's gonna be drivers that are. I mean, you're gonna get cut off all the time. You're gonna get cut off the time, and
you're gonna get the finger, and you're you know. Look,
it's cars.
All I can say is the best way to get ready for that, if you're going to hit the road and you're wondering about the road, yes, there's a lot out there. And the best way that I can say to handle it is empathy. You have no clue what this idiot's going through. They are an idiot.
Just
in
let
that
them
moment.
go.
Let them give you the finger
and go.
Don't engage. Don't return. Just stay safe. Let them continue to be safe. Stupid, but safe. Because really, it's probably more about them than it is about you anyway. And so if you can keep that in mind, you can get through it. It doesn't have to ruin your day. Just let them have their crappy day somewhere away from you.
Yeah.
Eric, it all depends. The first 6 months.
He's talking about with like a new authority.
Yeah, with a new authority, they're not going to want to work with you. You got to at least age it for what, a year?
I would say he's accurate with the 6 months. It used to be, you know, 4 years ago, you only had to go through the shit for 3 months. Now it's about 6 months. You can still keep your trailer full. You may be going to places that you maybe don't super want to go to, okay? And you may be going there for a little bit lower rate than somebody else who already has an established business for 2 or 3 or whatever years. Right. So I know when I started, I don't know if I was telling you this or I think I was telling Chris. I was like, dude, my first month, I made 16 grand. My goal was to make 20 grand. And I made 16 in my very first month of operating Hotshot, which was 4 years ago. And I made 16 grand. I don't remember what my miles was, but I remember after that month running all of the numbers, and my rate per mile for all miles was like $1.35 or $1.45. I don't remember what it was, but it was very low. You know, it was really low. And I kept at it, and I kept, you know, keeping track of the numbers. And I remember my second month, it was up about 15 cents a mile. And I'm like, okay, I'm doing something a little bit better, whether it's running less miles or running for a higher rate. And then my third month, you know, and by the time I hit 6 months, I was in the $2 range, and I was getting less and less no's. No, we can't work with you. No, da, da, da. So, I would say the first 3 months are still going to be the hardest. And that's why you don't raw reality life. Hey, what's up? You don't dip all of your money into starting up. Like I've always told you guys, you have to have money set aside, whether it's credit card, whether it's Auntie May, whether it's Uncle Bob. Somebody needs to have your back financially, whether it's you or somebody that you can lean on, your significant other, your, you know, whatever. You're going to pull from your 401k if times get tough. You have to at least have some kind of access to money, especially those of you
build a nest egg.
Build a nest egg. Especially those of you who are putting used trucks, who are buying a used truck because you can't, you know, for whatever reason, you can't get into a brand new one, which is also fine. But when you buy something used, you need to know that you run the risk of having something break down.
Unexpected. Something unexpected is going to happen. Outside of that, hang in there. Do not give up too easily. All right? It's going to hurt, but anything worth really having is hard work, and it's sometimes painful.
Yeah.
The pain is temporary. Torture is optional. Okay?
Can you each ballpark your last couple months ago? They're talking about revenue. We would have to add up some numbers for you. There's so many loads. Like, I mean, I put all my runs up on my YouTube channel. Eddie's working on starting a YouTube channel, so you're gonna see more of him, whether it's on mine or his own. And you're probably gonna talk about some of that stuff.
Well, it's kind of a little of both. I mean, because I really don't want to get into the whole business side of it. I just want to show people how beautiful the United States is still. Damn it. I just, we'll be showing, the countryside of stuff, places where I'm going to be going. And if I'll answer questions. I have no problem answering questions if you send them to me. And I'm excited. I'm really excited to start the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I mean, because
he's been talking about it for a while.
The first time, I didn't even think she was ever going to answer me. And then she, when I first found her, and she calls me up, and I'm on the road. I'm on a load going from Houston to Midland, Texas, out in the middle of nowhere, bad reception and everything. And I'm freaking out because here's a YouTube star that I've been watching, since day one. And she called me up and she said, hey, and then we talked. I thought it was just going to be like, a 10-minute talk. She's going to tell me this and that.
We talked for hours, dude. And he's like, do you mind if I three-way Jessie so we can all talk? And I'm like, sure.
Yep.
We talked for hours, you guys. And
this woman will help you no matter what. If you have any questions, she is the woman to come to.
Yeah.
For this hotshot business. She started on her own.
And she's learned a lot of things the hard way. This lady,
I have learned a lot from her.
Plethora of knowledge.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm not one, like, I don't know. I used to have managers, in other previous companies, and they didn't ever want to show anybody anything. And I never understood that. It's like, teach these people. You want people on your team that are better than you, not worse than you. Because if they're worse than you, then you got to do all of the work. I mean, I was telling Eddie and Jessie the other day, I'm like, I got a team right now that I could send you guys for any freaking load, and I know you got it covered. And I like that feeling. That gives me peace of mind. That gives me confidence that whatever I book, it's like, they got it. Like they freaking got it.
I mean, it's like she said, it's a family now.
Yeah.
She's his family, and we're here to make this business work.
And we work for each other.
We're here to make it, successful, make everybody good. And I mean, I love this. And I keep telling her every day when I talk to her.
I love my job.
I love my job.
I love my job.
I love my job.
Don't be sorry, Eric. That's what this live is all about. Interaction.
Yep. I would say, Eric. I would say, but you got to find, and you might run through a couple different dispatchers, because one of my guys did that. He ran through two, and then he was like, you know what, I'm just going to do it myself. And he started doing it himself. I walked him through the process. We did a little bit of tutorials on how to search and stuff like that. And now I talked to him recently, and now he was like, I'll never go back to a dispatch service. So sometimes it's just that little bit of help. I had a dispatch service my 2 weeks. They pissed me off once, they pissed me off a couple times in those 2 weeks. And I quit, and I started doing it myself, and I figured it out, and I learned, and it was phenomenal, so it just depends.
I'm sure to get on YouTube.
It just depends.
To watch this live.
Tell mom to watch the live. Yeah.
But can I just gotta say, to be fair, she's not your average bear. Eric, I always err on the side of caution. I'm probably considered a weenie to an extent. I would say use a dispatch service until you know how to talk a good game as a dispatcher yourself before you deal with brokers straight on. Yeah.
And Eric, I do a lot of tutorials. You're not signed on to my Patreon, but it's www.patreon.com/hotshotadventures. For $5 or $10 a month, you can sign up to the Patreon, and I have so many exclusive content videos, behind the scenes videos, boo-boos that we've made and how we fixed them, all kinds of stuff and I also go through a lot of tutorials on different load boards. I got 3 different load boards up there. And you see my screen, and I walk you through how I do my searches and stuff. What's up, Michael? You're such a doll. I love Michael. He's always hanging out on my channel. I love it. you know, it's important. I think everybody should have a mentor. You don't have to have me, but get somebody that can help you when you get to a load that you're like, what the hell? Or, you know, how do I strap this down? What do I do here? How do I, you know, have somebody that you can call, whether it's a buddy, you know, Emery, he would call me for a lot of things in the beginning. And then now we just talk as friends every once in a while, you know, but have somebody that you can rely and lean on their knowledge and their expertise, at least in the beginning, And I know a lot of us YouTubers, we're out there to help you guys. Everybody has their different way of you guys being able to get in contact with us.
She also has a Patreon.
I just told him.
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying
Patreon.
attention. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
But I mean, she'll answer your questions. She is vast knowledge in everything in this hot shop. It's like I said, she started it by herself, and she's already been through the fire.
Yeah.
Oh,
she's
Eric,
gone through the hardship of it.
I don't know if you have binged her channel yet, Eric, but if you haven't, then you should, because there's a whole, I mean, everything she's been through, she's documented. Everything.
Yes.
And I mean, like, everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The mentorship is, Eric, yes, the mentorship is on the Patreon. There are different tiers on the Patreon. You can sign up and we can do a phone call. You can sign up and do the mentorship tier, which is the most expensive tier, but you're only going to be under mentorship for me for 2 months. So it's only going to cost you that much for 2 months. And then you drop it down a tier so we can continue to talk to each other. So for 4 months, you're looking at, you know, spending about, you know, $600 or $800 on utilizing me. But after that, you're going to be completely set up. You're going to know that we've gone over everything that should be inside your truck and trailer, all of the maintenance, where to find your information, how your book should look, what you need inside your book, how to run your ELD.
You're going to get your money's worth.
All of this. There's so much.
Kidding.
There's so much
I've
that
already
we'll go over.
Spoken to 2 people that have gone through that with her through the Patreon, and they are so glad they did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody, because I want everybody to be successful. I don't want you to drop your 40,000. You're gonna buy a brand new truck cash. You know, I mean, we know how much those are right now.
Yes.
And I don't want to see anybody fail. So I mean, I work for all of you guys. It's like, hey, whatever we got to do. I'm dispatching another guy, Jefferson. Big shout out to you, Jefferson. We've become, I've never even met him in person yet, but he watched me on YouTube, signed up to my Patreon, and I started dispatching him since June, I think. So it's been about 4 months, something like that, 6 months, whatever it's been. And, he's phenomenal. You know, he is just a working fool. He loves the job. He loves the drive. He loves what this entails. And we've been working together. He set himself up. He got all his stuff, equipment and everything.
Good deal, Eric. Good for you, man.
He's like, I did offer up dispatch services to my Patreons, who were signed up first.
So there you go, Eric.
And yeah,
I couldn't say it till she did, but there you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
I do dispatch on the side, but I can only handle so many, and that's not for me. That's to be fair to you guys. Oh, thank you, Eddie. That's to be fair to you guys, because I know it takes time right here, Eddie.
Yes, ma'am.
I know it takes time, and it takes a lot of phone calls and a lot of coordination, just like we've been talking about this whole time. And I want to make sure that I don't have so many people that I can't help everybody as much as they need it and as much as I feel like I need to.
But she's going to be completely all inclusive with the information. There's no hook. She doesn't need to keep from giving you knowledge to keep you hooked for a long time. You're paying for a service. She's going to give you everything she's got, and she has so much up in there.
Yes.
You guys, do you have any questions before we wrap it up? Any last questions? Any information that you want us to go over before we hit the road? Because we're going to go to a powwow today for my belated birthday. So if you guys don't want to talk to us anymore,
Birthday powwow.
Yeah. I've always wanted to go to this powwow, and it's happening. So
yeah.
So we want to go. trucker for 12 years.
Okay.
We have 8-month-old. Build something to leave him. Absolutely.
Right? And you
Yeah.
want to have time to spend with him before he grows up and tells you to piss
And that's
off.
another thing, Eric.
Yeah.
And hot shotting, you'll get home more often than you will on
Yes.
than being an 18-wheeler driver, because you're your boss.
That's all right, Raymond.
You're your
can-
boss. You
can
make
back it
you
up
make
and
the
watch
rules. You decide, you know what?
That's right.
I'm gonna take a couple of days off. I'm going home.
Yep.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Sean. Thank you guys so much for wishing me a happy birthday. Yeah, it is important, but it's also important. Like if you're running OTR, it, like we talked about earlier in the video, like it's hard for them to get you home sometimes,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so if you're going to do this independently, you have the ability to say, no, my son's 1-year-old birthday is coming up. I'll be there 3 days before the birthday starts. And then I'll leave 2 days after the birthday starts, if that's what you so want. That's the flexibility in that. When I want to go home, I'm out. Bye. And when I'm done rested, then I'll go back, when I feel like it.
I mean, that's what it's like I tell her. The reason why I really, really love hot shotting is because, it's basically, to me, I treat it as a work vacation all the time.
What was it we said?
There's times where I'm saying, you know what, I want to go to Florida, and she sends me to Florida,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll shut down. We'll spend a day there, just
And
enjoying
put our feet in the Atlantic. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Or
Very, very
if I want
exciting.
to, head up to North Dakota and see my friends there. I mean, not North Dakota, but Montana. There we go.
Yeah.
I got all freaking tongue tied. But to go see my friends, she sent me there for Memorial Day weekend. I got to spend time with my
go
friends.
see places we haven't even gotten to see
Yeah,
before.
and so that was the thing, because we can actually get to Yellowstone. We can get to the Redwoods. We can actually. That's what I love about hot shotting. This is all a vacation. If you treat it like a job, you're not going to be happy. Never going to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so much out there to see, so much out there to do. Take your time and enjoy it. I love my job. I keep telling her. I love my job.
Raymond, go to her page or her YouTube channel, subscribe, and then full binge.
Yeah.
She's got everything you need to know.
Start from the beginning, Raymond, or there's a playlist on there that says new to Hotshot education.
Mm-hmm.
I put a lot of the stuff that I've kind of cherry picked a playlist of videos that I think are very important that I've created that are for the people that are behind me looking to get into the business. So you guys all be safe. Happy Sunday. Thank you for joining us. And I hope this was informational and educational for you guys. If you have any questions, reach out to us anytime. Thank you guys for the birthday well wishes. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye. And bye again.